So we had a question asking about decaffeinated coffee and the Swiss water process. So let's just talk about, first of all, how caffeinated, you start with caffeinated coffee. So caffeine is one of the things that, we're having big issues with. So in order to get, traditionally before, in order to get something decaffeinated, you were using a solvent, and this solvent would go through, attach it to the molecules, then you would be able to get that out, and then you could reconstitute, everything. You were recovering the caffeine through dehydration, and basically using the caffeine for other things. They were mining it and using it for other things there. But then this process called the Swiss water process came along.
Yep. You said solvent, and I said, ooh.
Solvent? Yeah, chemicals. We're talking about things like methyl chloride or ethyl acetate. You're using some chemicals, for sure, that are going to have an impact. So
that's some nasty stuff.
Yeah. So, you're using these chemicals to be able to, create basically reverse almost like an osmosis. You're creating an imbalance, basically, and you're pulling it out, and then you're, rehydrating it. Okay. So they came up with what's called the Swiss water process, and this is a non-solvent process for decaffeinating unroasted coffee beans. So basically what you do for this process, and it's not because it was Swiss, anything to do with that, it was just that it was invented in Switzerland. That's where it came from. So that's where the name Swiss came from. But it became very popular for decaffeinating coffee because the coffee beans are soaked in a caffeine-free green coffee extract. So this allows
say that coffee again. That seems like it. Say that again. Say what? A green what?
Caffeine-free, okay, green coffee extract. So green means before it matures.
Unroasted and matured. Right.
So you're allowing the caffeine to be extracted from the mature bean, and it goes into the solution. So, is it good? Is it better? Well, first of all, you're not using chemicals, so thumbs up on that. So we like that part about it. But here's the problem with that. Yes, it gets the caffeine out of you, and we all know. I don't think we need to spend time talking about what caffeine does to the body, but the coffee itself contains several hundred different substances. So obviously the most well-known is caffeine. And these have a huge, powerful pharmacological effect on the body. So there's two cholesterol-raising substances in the coffee called cafestol and collyol.
Right, I've heard about that. That was one of the things when I was lowering my cholesterol in my plant-based journey was I had to get rid of the caffeine and anything that's related with coffee because it really prevents the reduction of cholesterol.
Well, it not only raises the overall total cholesterol, but it raises the bad LDL cholesterol and triglycerides too at the same time. So, and the overall risk of elevated cholesterol obviously is heart attack, stroke, And if you are somebody who is consuming, a heavy consumption person, like 4 to 9 cups of regular coffee a day, it does increase or translate into increased heart attack risks. And this information I got from Dr. McDougall. But in relevant numbers, he says a 10% increase in cholesterol could boost your risk of death by heart disease to 20 to 30%.
That's huge.
Wow. Considering,
that's huge.
Wait. Considering that the cholesterol-lowering medications, like, for example, the statins, only do, reduce about 10% of the cholesterol.
Right.
So you're increasing it 20 to 30%, then you're taking a statin to reduce it 10%. Why not just cut out the coffee?
But do the doctors, it's not common practice in our country to give a preventative recommendation like cutting out coffee. The norm is to write a prescription for a cholesterol reducing medication that works 10%.
Exactly.
But yet we're drinking 4 to 6 to 9 cups of coffee a day or having big gulp soda or, Mountain Dews and Red Bulls and all of these things that are really high in caffeine.
Right.
And it's increasing our cholesterol. So the layperson that doesn't realize this, they're taking the the cholesterol lowering medication and still drinking caffeine, and they're not seeing their numbers change.
Right. Because you've got 20 to 30% for the coffee, and then 10% going down that way. So yeah,
it's not going. So the problem is it's not going down. So they're not having any health prevention, health improvements from taking the cholesterol lowering medication.
There is one thing that they have shown, that if you're using a filter paper, like the coffee filters, like Mr. Coffee, you remember those?
Right.
Coffee filter papers. Well, those will filter out those two cholesterol raising substances. But the problem is we now use things like, the Keurig cups.
Keurig.
Yeah, so that's not filtering that out. So it's still going straight through.
A lot of people have gotten really popular is the French press, because it increases the caffeine level, the French press.
Right.
And so there's no filtration there. And so,
But even still in the process of decaffeination, it does not reduce those substances. Okay.
Right.
So I just want to talk about that. Another thing that coffee does is it raises your blood pressure. Okay. So it causes your blood vessels to constrict and the heart to beat stronger. So resulting in, an elevated blood pressure level for most people. So within minutes of drinking a cup of coffee, the systolic blood pressure, that's the top, or the first number, can rise 5 to 15 milligrams of mercury.
That's a lot.
And the dystolic, or in the bottom number, can go 5 to 10 millimeters of mercury just after. Yep. So, coffee will also burn your stomach. So coffee is very, very upsetting to the stomach. So both regular and decaffeinated coffee causes indigestion. So
very acidic.
Yeah. So
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do?
So,
coffee's a bad one, but I can tell you real quickly my experience firsthand with my mom. And so I believe I inherited my mom's caffeine sensitivity. And my mom was having really hard time sleeping. And we would take her to her nurse practitioner. And the nurse practitioner would say, "Are you drinking any coffee?" And my mom would say, "Well, I'm having decaf. I'm having decaf around 4 o'clock in the afternoon." And so the nurse practitioner, she says, "Well, let me tell you something." And this was something that was completely new to me. I had no idea. So I heard this from the nurse practitioner. She said caffeine has a half-life to start with. But then she said decaf doesn't mean caffeine free. The FDA has a base level that if it's at or below this base level of caffeine, it can be labeled decaf, but there's still caffeine in the decaf. And if you're somebody like me, and apparently my mom, even having a cup of decaf in the afternoon is going to keep you up at night. And so I couldn't even drink like Diet Pepsi when I was drinking Diet Coke. Even the caffeine-free Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi still has caffeine in it, and it would keep me up until midnight because of that small amount of caffeine that's still in there. So interesting on the Swiss water process. I don't know that I would say that I would give that a thumbs up, but I definitely would not purchase or drink decaf coffee because
the bottom line is it's still got the chemicals in it. I mean, that's the bottom line.
The bottom line is the chemicals are in it. Yeah, great. That's a great topic. Great question. Very good question.
Bottom line, drink water, herbal tea.
Exactly. Naturally decaffeinated.
Yeah, find something that you like.
Naturally caffeine free. Yeah.
Yeah. Find something that you like. I like a warm drink in the morning. So, I just switched to, I think I had the Robois, if I'm saying that right, the chai, which doesn't have caffeine in it. I like that. Right. That's my morning cup of coffee, my cup of tea. And then I switched to a ginger root later on in the day. And I love a ginger root. And it's just straight, pure straight ginger root. And and then I switched to water. So I have 3 clean canteens. I carry it with me wherever I'm going. And that's what I drink for the day.
Yeah, I'm fine with tea, with herbal tea. I'm fine with just drinking water with lemon. I like just water with lemon. It's totally fine for me. So If you
What's
are
next?
watching, and we want to say thank you, hi to Jody, hi to Shelly, hi to everybody who's watching. Thank you for joining us. First and foremost, we started right off at 5 o'clock with our first question, but we would really, really like it if you would share our live broadcast so that we could reach everybody. Sharing is caring, so please give us a share. We like that. Matcha is
And give us a
sub for
like
coffee.
too. Why not?
Len says that matcha is a good sub for coffee. It is as strong, but the problem is there, Len, is that matcha, if I understand correctly, is pretty high in caffeine. So I believe there are some issues with the caffeine there. But yes, I agree. It is strong. I drank it once and I was climbing the walls. I've not had it again. So, but thank you for mentioning that. Our next question comes from Sandy, and she wants to know, how can I kick my nightly habit of eating a handful of nuts? So
that one's real easy. Get the nuts out of the house.
Get the nuts out of the house. You know, that's the bottom line. Get the nuts out of the house. I mean, that's one of the things that we have to be adamant about. If we are serious about weight loss, we have to get those highly calorically dense foods out of the house during the period of time you're in weight loss mode. You know, a handful of walnuts is maybe 200 to 300 calories. And when you're having that late at night, you're not going to burn those off. You're not going to burn them off. So if you're still transitioning from a whole food, plant-based lifestyle and you're working through some bad habits, some eating habits, and that after post-evening dinner, have some blueberries. Have some chickpeas, have some seasoned chickpeas with some garlic seasoning or some no salt seasoning. They're actually really good, just rinsed out of the can. They're like the size of a nut and pretty darn low in calories.
Put them in the oven. Put them in the oven.
Roast them. You can even roast them ahead of time.
Yep. Roast them ahead of time. And you've got a nice crunchy snack. You know? You
do. And if you have an air fryer, you can put them in the air fryer. They're excellent. Mm-hmm. But again, blueberries, if you're somebody that's trying to kick a post-dinner sweet tooth fix, then have some blueberries on hand. Have some fresh blueberries and have a half a cup. You know, you're going to get some fabulous nutrients from the blueberries and no fat and very minimal calories. But the idea here is to remove the temptation from your house. Get the nuts out.
Yep. Well,
get the nuts out.
And something simple like this was because of a act of desperation. I was craving something, and there's nothing in my house. I mean, seriously, you come to my house and it's clean. You know,
yeah, me too.
You know, and the inner raccoon still comes out and goes, "Hey, maybe you might have missed a nut along the way, or something." You know, so
maybe
going
there's
through the
one
cabinets.
hidden.
Yeah, so I'm going through the cabinets, you know, looking at, you know, going through and saying, nothing. So I had some bananas, and I took a banana, I mashed it up, and this was out of sheer desperation. So I took like about a cup of oatmeal, more or less 3/4 of a cup, mixed it in with the mashed bananas, and I had a little like almond extract or coconut extract, and then some pumpkin pie spice, and I rolled those up into balls, and I put them into the air fryer. Oh my gosh!
I know, I've made them. You told me about them, and I made them, and they're like to die for.
I know.
Yeah.
And they make about 9. They make about 9 of them. So, you know, my husband gets lucky, you know, he gets half and you know.
They're super good snack.
I mean, so, you know, there's things that you can do, you know, but the bottom line is you got to get those high caloric density things out of the house without question.
Exactly.
If it's in your house, it's in
your mouth. And then if it's a moment on the hips, it's forever on the lips. Moment on the lips, forever on the hips. We don't want that. Shelly Crockett, you're asking about bread during weight loss. So
no.
bread is not recommended during weight loss phase. It is highly calorically dense. It's a refined grain, and your brain is going to react to it the same as sugar. It can trigger you to want more highly sugary foods, and you are likely to overeat when you're having bread products. So you want to get rid of the bread. Yeah. Definitely get rid of the bread while you're on weight loss mode.
And it's not just the bread. It's corn tortillas. It's rice cakes.
Yep,
Yeah,
it's refined grain.
grains.
So right now in the Starch Queens program, we actually are having a 29-day challenge for no refined grains. And everybody's doing really good. People are learning about, like we've been saying, is you want to peel back the layers of our nutrition and try to really get to know our bodies, get to know how nutrition and nutrients react to us individually. Some people may be sensitive to one type of food where another isn't. So we're doing a little bit of a reduction and process, and we're removing refined grains, and people are going, wow, this makes a big difference. So
it does clean your head out. I mean,
it does. It really does. And Shelley says, probably why I'm craving it. Exactly. That's exactly right, Shelley, because it triggers dopamine. It's a refined grain, and so your brain lights up with the refined grain like sugar, and you're going to want it. So the best way to get weight off is to get all refined grain out. Is a challenge on the website or Facebook page. So Shelley, the Starch Queens program is available at www.sqweightloss.com. And this is our paid for program. It's fantastic. Misty can give you a review how well she's doing. It's a great program. We're very proud of it.
I do want to give a shout out to our plant-based towns, because we do have a 10-day free challenge, weight loss challenge. And we've got Plant-Based Atlanta. We've got Plant-Based Chicago, who just won the Golden Theater Award. Well done, Emma. And we've got Plant-Based Chico, Plant-Based Ontario, Plant-Based Westchester. And coming up soon is Plant-Based Providence, Rhode Island, who's going to be joining our free 10-day challenges. And there's no geography police. You can join any one of the groups. But that being said, our program for the weight loss program, it's about education. We're going to blow you away. And coaching. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna blow you away. I mean, every day, Monday through Friday, we have an educational topic, and then we talk about that topic. And Nancy does in Driving with Nancy, always a fun treat, because you never know what's going to happen or what she's going to hit or run into.
Train horns,
or whatever.
The occasional F-bomb.
Woo! Okay, so we do that, and then so we have a daily topic, and then Nancy talks to you about that topic. And then we have Q&As. We have a webinar on Sunday nights. But also when you join the program, you get all of the previous ones, because on Starch Queens, sqweightloss.com, we post all the previous, from all the previous months. So you get all of that too. So
it's a great program.
A lot of education. So it's not just about learning to lose weight. I think that's a side effect. We're learning how to change.
And weight loss program. It's a lifestyle program. How to get the weight off and stay off forever.
Yeah, we're learning how to change our health destiny. That's the biggest piece.
It's a great program. So excellent.
Thank you for asking,
Shelley. Yeah. Our next question is one that's pretty true and dear to my heart. Candace Cartier, Cartier, Candace, asks about plant-based living and rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah.
This is a big thing. This is a huge deal. There's a lot of people in our country that are being diagnosed with autoimmune disorders, with one of the top ones being RA, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis.
Can I share a story?
We both have stories to share on this one, and we've got medical facts to quote and to share. This is a big one.
This is a huge one. I was teaching at the local community college here, and I was doing a plant-based program, and it was 4 Saturdays in a row, okay? The first Saturday we started, now this woman came in, she was in her mid-40s. Now for the last 10 years, she was suffering from rheumatoid arthritis and was in severe pain. I mean, just
awful.
She was, for 10 years, she had been on some serious pain medications.
Probably steroids was one of the big ones.
Well, I don't know exactly what medication she was on, but she was on.
I'm just saying, that was the old guard for the old treatment program, was just steroids.
Right. Well, but she was on pain pills because she was in such phenomenal pain for 10 years. And she started in her mid-30s. And here she was in her mid-40s, and she had read about this and, decided that she was going to try and learn about this plant-based. Well, she went home. This was the first night. This was a Saturday. She went home that night, cleaned out her house, and said, I'm doing this, and went shopping and changed. So that night, her first meal, she started. And by Thursday of that week, she didn't even realize it. She woke up. She wasn't in pain for the first time in 10 years. And when she came in on Saturday and she told us, I mean, we were passing around the box, you know, the tissue box, because we were all crying. I mean, she was just like so grateful that she was out of pain. For
pain is debilitating.
Yeah.
Pain is it's crippling.
Oh,
it's crippling. It's the worst. Yeah, that's a great story. So my story is that my mom was diagnosed. My grandmother, she suffered from extreme rheumatoid arthritis, and back in the day in the 70s, when there was no treatment other than steroid in the United States, my aunt and I flew to from Chico to Tijuana from Chico or Sacramento to Tijuana, and we crossed the border into Tijuana and got a basket full of pills that, you know, was this big. And we did that in I went twice I took my grandparents twice. My mom took my grandparents because they had to go like every 6 months to get these medications. Jeez. And what they were back then was just the beginning of non-FDA approved ibuprofen. And so my grandmother was taking these huge amounts of ibuprofen that was not FDA approved in the United States. And then it became approved for veterinary use in like 84, somewhere right around there. And then it became, Motrin was released under the brand name Motrin, and then ibuprofen. So in my mom's family, my grandmother had the arthritis, and my mom developed RA and really disfiguring osteoarthritis. My mom's fingers, this finger, index finger, literally did a 90-degree angle. This finger went this way, and this finger, I mean, her hands were truly deformed. Her fingers were deformed, and her toes, her big toe crossed over her second toe crossed over her big toe like this, and so much so that the bottom toe and this toe were getting ulcerated. So she actually had to have a toe amputated because of yes. I mean, this is how severe. Yes. My mom had a toe amputated because of the severity of the pain. So she was on fentanyl patches and the whole 9 yards. Long story short, when Dr. McDougall was doing his initial St. Helena practice in St. Helena, I had researched him and found and read stories on him when there was no internet back then, and read stories, life-changing stories of people going to St. Helena in wheelchairs with arthritis. And 6-7 days into their 30-day programs, the wheelchairs kicked to the curb, and these people are out of pain and walking. And so I wanted to send my mom, but it was like $10,000-$15,000 back then, so it wasn't affordable. And so flash forward now, all these years forward, when my mom lived with Nick and I, and we were plant-based, my mom had no pain. She was pain-free from her arthritis while she was eating a whole food plant-based lifestyle. So I've witnessed it. I've seen the debilitating effects of arthritis, the side effects of the opioids, the chronic constipation that comes with it. My grandmother died of a heart attack because of the high dosage of steroids that she took. And then after that, the high level of NSAIDs, and her heart just stopped. She had a massive heart attack, and that was one of the side effects. So big deal for RA, and I had the blood test to see if I have that gene, and fortunately I don't. So I'm very excited about that. And even if I did, I would be eating plant-based regardless. But Jean, I copied this about arthritis, about being degenerative and inflammatory. Do you want to read this from Dr. McDougall's Facebook page, or would you like me to?
You go girl.
Okay. So Dr. McDougall's an internist, and one of the biggest factors in his program that people come to see him with is arthritis. And he's got this figured out. So in his, I think it's his November 2004 newsletter, he writes, it was like a lot of pages. So I just took a little bit of it. And just to tell you the two types of arthritis. Arthritis of no known cause can be divided into two broad categories: degenerative arthritis and inflammatory arthritis. Degenerative arthritis most commonly represents a condition known as osteoarthritis, and that's what my mom had bad. This is the most common arthritis found in people living in Western civilizations, seen in x-rays of the hands of over 70% of people 65 years and older. However, This same disease is comparatively rare in Africa and Asian countries where people physically labor to survive. And then it quotes the source, cites the source. How can that be? Osteoarthritis is said to be due to wear and tear on the joints. So why is it less common among hardworking people of underdeveloped countries? Nor does it explain why with light use the hands of women often become twisted and deformed with age, hence my mom. The inflammatory forms of arthritis include juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, lupus, ankylosing and spondylitis. These aggressive diseases affect less than 5% of people living in the United States today. Classifying these inflammatory diseases by different names, such as rheumatoid or lupus provides no further benefits to the patient. So just renaming it, because it does not lead to better understanding of the cause of the inflammation or to the successful treatment of the disease. People diagnosed with degenerative arthritis, osteoarthritis, have inflammation in their joints. In addition to long-standing damage, degeneration, this inflammation can often be stopped with change in diet and the swelling, pain, and stiffness relieved. And that's one of the things my mom, first thing she noticed when she was plant-based with me is her stiffness improved tremendously. And hey guys, if you're watching, do us a favor, please share. The inflammation can be stopped with a change in diet, the swelling, pain, and stiffness relieved. What won't change in their form of arthritis is the permanent destruction left by years of disease, leaving deformity, stiffness, and pain. To understand how most people with arthritis can be helped by healthy diet, I will focus on the more aggressive inflammatory forms of arthritis. My experience and this research has led me to prescribe for the past 22 years a starch-based diet with addition of fruits and vegetables, low fat, and devoid of all animal products. If no improvement is seen within 2 weeks, I suggest wheat and corn be eliminated. That's a big one.
Triggers,
and they're inflammatory. Yeah. The final step is to follow an elimination diet based on foods likely to cause problems, such as sweet potatoes and brown rice, with the addition of non-citrus fruits and green and yellow vegetables, all thoroughly cooked. Water is the beverage. If improvement is found usually in 1 to 2 weeks, then foods are added back one at a time to see if there is an adverse reaction. A complete description of this diet can be found at in the McDougall 12 Days to Dynamic Health. That's his book. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs should be stopped and, if necessary, replaced by aspirin or Relifen. Other medications are reduced and or discontinued as the symptoms improve. Then it says, I have just finished a study on 28 patients with rheumatoid arthritis using the McDougall diet with corn and wheat included, and the results were remarkable. Full publication will appear this fall. So Dr. McDougall, in my opinion, is an expert on arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, and how you can improve this debilitating disease through removing meat and dairy, processed food, coffee. These are all inflammatory foods that just really raises. And as I was reading this, it was really talking about the inflammation reduction in the body. So if you have rheumatoid arthritis, Dr. McDougall highly recommends a a whole food plant-based diet centered around starch and fruits, and then look for elimination triggers like refined grains, like refined corn and refined wheat, and try it. I mean, what's it going to hurt? All you're doing is you're replacing foods that are inflammatory with foods that promote healing, and they're inexpensive. I mean, how awesome is that? It's a win-win. Jean, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you covered everything.
I think so. That was a good one. That was a really good one.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what our next question comes in from Anita Hill. Anita, hi, Anita. Anita is at her grandson's birthday party tonight. So happy birthday to your grandson, Anita. That's fantastic. Again, hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. If you have any questions for the Starch Queens, feel free to post them in the comments. And if you can, we are always grateful if you share this to your Facebook page or your Facebook group if you have one. Jean and I love helping people get the information out there. Oh, there's my cousin. Hi, Mike. Love you.
And give us a thumbs up. Give us a like.
Give us a thumbs up. Again, you can always find the replays of these on our Starch Queens Facebook page. All right. Anita asks, if potatoes are baked or steamed and then refrigerated and warmed up or eaten cold, they become a resistant starch. Is this true? Take it away, Jean.
Take it away, me? Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I did a little bit of research on this, and there are 4 types of resistant starch. And one of them is about the types of things like potatoes, sweet potatoes. And here's what happens. This is kind of neat, that what happens is when you cook a potato, like, for example, like I cook mine in my Instant Pot, and then it goes into the refrigerator. You know, I let it cool down outside the Instant Pot. Let it cool down. I set it on a cooling rack, and when it's cooled down, and then I put it in the refrigerator. So in the process of putting it into the refrigerator, it changes the starch inside to become more resistant, so it doesn't break down as easy. So it's not as calorically dense as the regular starch is. So instead of 4 calories per gram, it's only 2 calories per gram.
That's huge.
Yeah. Especially because I love my potatoes. I have the potato hour in the afternoon. So I take my potatoes, and you can see my pictures. I post pictures of my cooler. If you don't follow, I'm on Instagram and Twitter, and I usually try and post a picture of my cooler every day, just so that people can see what do I eat. Because people ask me all the time, what do you eat? You know, tree bark, grass clippings, you know, leaves, dead leaves. You know, what are we talking here?
Yeah, so, tofu and alfalfa sprouts.
Clearly. So, no.
Lots of alfalfa sprouts. I love sprouts.
Actually, I just got my machine, and I'm kind of excited about that.
I know. I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, I started my sprouts, and they're going. And
we're going to have to do a whole Q&A on your sprouts. So, like, we'll have to you'll have to go live with your sprout machine in front of you, and we can ask you questions about your sprout growing
I'm really
device.
excited, and I've got 4 different types of sprouts going, and as soon as I'm harvesting that, I'm going to put that in the refrigerator. I'll have fresh sprouts, and then and then I'll start another round. Oh my gosh! I mean, talk about low maintenance. I bought the one that waters itself.
That's awesome.
It turns out. I mean, they have cheaper versions that you have to walk by and spritz it with a spray bottle.
It's not going to happen in my house.
Me either. So it's downstairs on top of my washing machine because it doesn't need light.
Yeah, right. No light.
You know,
okay.
It's a win-win. Win-win in my book.
All right, so back on track. We want to get on Anita's question here. So she's asking again, is it true about what is it? If potatoes
the resistant starch.
The resistant starch,
Absolutely true.
It is very true. It's very true. And then Anita asks, some people who are plant-based, they reach a weight loss plateau and are finding that to lose weight, we have to rebalance what we are eating and limit grains or potatoes to no more than 1 to 2 servings per day or replace with beans. What is the best way to figure out the right ratio of starches, legumes, and greens to eat? That's her question. So,
well, I think part of that is, as we talked about in our weight loss program, is you have to kind of, you're learning and adjusting your body to this. When you hit a plateau, that just means the calories in is you're good, and you're keeping at a plateau. But in order to continue to lose weight, you've got to dial it down.
You're not in your activity level. You have your basal metabolic rate, your BMR. And so if you've reached that, then you've reached maintenance. I mean, that's where your I'm not a big fan of the word plateau. It's overused in the weight loss industry and the weight loss community. Hitting a plateau just means you have to do a little bit of an adjustment on your nutrition and your activity level. Do you agree with that, Jean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I do.
For me personally, through my 105-pound weight loss journey has been constant readjustments. When I was at 265 pounds, I was probably eating 3,000 calories a day. And so when I don't know, I wasn't measuring. I was doing what I call free fall eating. I just, it was just like eating anything that was in front of me, put it in front of me. Sure. I'd eat it, as long as it wasn't chocolate, 'cause I'm allergic to chocolate. I would pretty much eat it. And with total disregard to nutrition or anything. I was just not a mindful, healthy person then. And so, then when you become mindful and make the decision that you want to lose weight and get healthy, you start changing what you eat. And by default, you're not consuming the high fat, high calorically dense foods, meat, dairy, candy, processed food, breads, tortillas, all of that changes. So you're going from 3,000 to 3,500 calories a day to boom, 12 or 13, 1,400 calories a day. You're going to drop weight like, a rock coming down Mount Everest, fast and furious. And then you're going to come and you're losing all of that water retention. So that's going to go because you've decreased your sodium. So your sodium levels are dropping. And so your body is shedding. It's releasing the excess edema. And then it's starting to burn fat that you've had fat retention, the fat stores because of calories restriction. And then as you get down, you've lost, say, your first 25 pounds and your metabolism, your BMR is adjusting. You need to start looking at your foods that you're eating. And then what is the biggest problem with most people, and it was for me, is I was inviting more calorically dense foods back into my lifestyle. It's not
those nuts, avocados.
Exactly.
And people don't realize the corn tortillas. Oh my
Yes.
God. The
They're
rice
perfectly
cakes.
fine on the start. In the old original Dr. McDougall's maximum weight loss program, rice cakes are in there. No corn tortillas, but rice cakes are in there. Yeah. And so these are calorically dense foods. And so, so we're all feeling real comfortable. I'm all comfortable. Woohoo, I got 25, 30 pounds on. Sure, I'll have a rice and bean taco. And why don't you put that half of avocado on there while you're at it? And there goes the calories right back up, because whether calories, a calorie. And then what's also happening is I'm not being quite as diligent with my big volume of veggies and my big salads that I was having every day. I've gotten lazy. That's what happens. You get lazy and you've lost 25 or 30 pounds, but you're still plant-based, but you're like, oh my gosh, this has gotten on top of me. I'm so tired of, this. And then you have to readjust. You got to relook at yourself, reassess your goals, look at your why, remember what you're here for. And you got to then start removing those calorically dense foods. And then you're also looking at, which we haven't even talked about, is any type of trigger foods you might have with some food addiction. I was an emotional eater, and my go-to emotional eating food after I went plant-based was nuts. Nuts are way up there on the calorie density chart. They're like,
they're calorie bombs.
Close to oil. They're super nutritious, but you can't have them if you want to get weight off in it. And if you eat a lot of them, it's just your weight loss is going to crawl. It's going to crawl. And if you're not incorporating movement into your daily routine, like walking or rebounding or anything, swimming, hiking, biking, whatever it is, if you're not doing that, then you're going to quote unquote plateau. So it's not, the body isn't out to get you. All right. It doesn't do that. It's not like, okay, it's like Nancy, she's lost 30 pounds. We're going to just put a damper on that for a few months just to tick her off. It doesn't work that way.
Feels like it.
Yeah, I know. We always want to blame it on somebody else. It's like, dang it. Dang it, we have to own it. We got to own it.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I would have to like, oh God, I've gotten lazy. I'm having more sandwiches. I'm having, more avocado. And I'm having this great organic vegan Dave's seedy nutty 30,000 seeds bread, and
oh my God, the Killer Dave's. And thank
Killer.
you. Wait, I just see Kimberly, Kim Campbell just popped in. Welcome, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
And thank you, Kim, for introducing me to Killer Dave's bread. Thank you very much. I really appreciated that one. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful it's on the market. It's a great bread to have for the general population. I mean, it's vegan, but if you're wanting to lose weight and release the weight, you got to stay away from Dave's Killer Bread and the 50,000 seeds that are in it.
And that would be me. I'd be like going back to the refrigerator every couple of hours going, hey, just another piece of toast. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
It's small. It fits perfectly into the little toaster. One button down.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even going to bust a sweat making that piece of toast. So
it's quick, it's easy, thank you, Kim. Appreciate that, Killer Dave's.
It's a trigger food. It's a trigger food.
Is.
So here's the other thing about the plateau word is that the body does reach a point where you do need to make adjustments. And that's part of what I call course correction of the journey. So course correction is like what we're doing in our Starch Queens weight loss program. We have a group member who's been dealing with a very long period of plateau. But as we pull back the layers, we find out that, there's 5 or 6 dates being eaten at night. There's, few things that are sneaking in. They're plant-based, but again, dates are 60% sugar. Yeah. And they're a plant food, and they're okay for in dressings and in recipes, but you can't take like some of these raw vegan recipes that are truly delicious that require you to put in, 10 or 12 dates into your food processor mixed in with 3 to 5 handfuls of walnuts to make a crust is not promoting weight loss. And so that's one of the things that people say, well, I went whole food plant-based and I lost 20 pounds and then it came to a stop. Well, and I bought this vegan book and that vegan book and they're all calorically dense. So it's very easy for people to get confused in that. And that's why we always want to refer back to, course correction, look at what you're doing, journal it out, and you will have an aha moment. You'll have an aha moment where you go, oh, there's my sneaky devil calories right there. Or there's there's a bad habit I've picked up after dinner at night.
Oh, yeah. And thank you, Nancy, for those corn tortillas. When she came out to Cape Cod, she taught me how to make them in the air fryer. Thank you very much.
I know.
Appreciated that one. Yeah.
They are good.
Yeah. Good buddy.
They're really good.
Yeah.
No oil. But you only have to have them once or twice a month.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had to stop.
Dan and Cheyenne from Indian Rock Vegans. How are you, Dan and Cheyenne? Just saw the second release of Eating You Alive. Love the re-edited version. It's fantastic. Had a great turnout in my hometown of Chico, California. So thank you for all that you do, Dan and Cheyenne. So anyway, Anita, the best thing to do is to peel back those layers of what? Yes, Jean?
Just Anita, just an FYI too, going back to the resistant starch. Thursday, keep your eye peeled. That's going to be our educational topic because I did a bunch of research on that. So that's coming up on our educational topic for Thursday. So Nancy's going to be talking about the 4 different types on her Driving with Nancy in the morning. So
that'll be tomorrow morning. Right. And that's again part of our educational program at sqweightloss.com. We'd love to have you join our program. And so anyway, on course correction, it's a journey. And it does not happen overnight. I did not lose 105 pounds overnight. It took me years to get to that weight, and it's taking years to get it off. And
if I hear one more person who said, I went plant-based and I lost 400 pounds overnight, I'm going to kill them. I am.
Don't do that. That would be bad for the Starch Queens. We're not We're not out to get you. We're out to help you. We're out to save you. But again, there's always the person that is absolutely 100% in tune with everything that they're doing in their body and their life. We're human. Life happens. We get it. The majority of us work. The majority of us are looking for that. For me, it was making a quick Dave's Killer Bread sandwich with hummus as my used in replace of mayo, and some avocado and some purple onion and some sprouts and some lettuce.
Stop it. But you're killing
what I'm
me.
saying is that's like 500 calories.
Yeah.
With the avocado, half an avocado and 2 slices of Dave Killer Bread, right there's 250 calories. I believe they're 125 calories a slice. So, yeah, those are the sneaky Pete's that get in there. Hi, Lori. Hi. She's calling us the queens. Just adore Lori. Lori was at the Eating You Alive premiere, too. I was awesome. So, peeling back the layers, we removed refined grains. We're looking at our body. We're healing. You've reversed your... you have to look at the things that are not measured by your circumference of your weight. You've got to look at your fatty liver syndrome is gone. Your cholesterol's coming down. Your triglycerides are coming down. Your A1C is coming down. Your blood sugar's down. These are, and your ring, you put your ring on. These are all of your health promoting, health,
her husband bought her this beautiful ring 25 years ago, and she gained so much weight she couldn't wear it. For 25 years, she couldn't wear it.
It's a beautiful sapphire ring.
It's gorgeous, and it's the first time in 25 years she's able to wear her ring. I mean,
makes me want to cry.
I know.
So we don't want to just get caught up on that damn scale number. It's just, it screws with your head. So you weigh once a month. And you be really good during that time. Do it like Dr. Doug Lisle says, 80%. Give us 80% and you're going to see the scale move. We do realize that, we have a life. We have busy times. There's going to be the time where you're going to have something that's more calorically dense, but you get right back on track with your big salads, lots of resistant starches like beans, legumes. And then if truly you are sensitive to starch, you got to be looking at the source of your starch and the quantity of the starch you're consuming, because in everybody's,
and also the time when you're eating it too.
Everybody's metabolism is different, and everybody's affected by the time of day. So I wish I had a very simple, short answer for you, Anita, but this is a journey, and sometimes we have to take course corrections, and sometimes we have to really look at what we're doing. And activity is a big one. You got to get out and at least move a little bit. It helps bring, and Jean's on her fitness ball, so she's down to in New York bouncing and rocking and rolling. And it's amazing how good you can build your core on one of those fitness balls.
Oh gosh, yeah. Absolutely.
So these are really great questions today. We're excited to have them. But again, Anita, I'm going to finish up your question with saying course corrections, look to see what you're eating the most of. And then like this month, we're doing the No Refined Grains Challenge, and see how you do when you step on the scale at the end of this month. I think that you're going to be pleasantly surprised. And then we take next month and we do another type of course correction and get you back in weight loss mode. And then we just keep going day after day, day after day. That's what we do.
Right.
That's all the questions I have that came in.
We had thyroid. We had a question about thyroid.
Oh, I didn't print out that one. Okay, thyroid, okay. Jean, take it away.
So Howard.
Oh, Howard. I do have Howard's question here. Okay.
Howard Belich. Okay. Asks, what is the best food for hypothyroidism? Well, okay. First of all, let's talk a little bit what hypothyroidism is. It's a hormone disease.
Yep.
It's a simple blood test that you can have to determine if you have either a high or low.
My missing paper. I found it.
Good. All right. All right. Hypothyroidism can be the result of like an iodine deficiency, medications. And we were just talking about this iodine in chemistry today, because I teach chemistry. And we're learning about what's called a single displacement chemical reaction. And one of the things that's going to drive a single displacement chemical reaction is, in the state of New York, they fluoridate the water. So you've got fluorine in your body, if you're drinking the water, the town water, you're drinking and you're getting a source of fluoride in your body. Now, fluoride is the most electronegative element there is on the periodic table, period. And if you look where the halogens are...
Say that slower. You're a chemistry teacher.
Sorry, can't help it. Okay, ready?
Really slow.
Fluorine, most electronegative.
Most electronegative. I am not a chematist. What does that mean?
A chematist?
I'm not a chematist. I'm also not a...
It means it's very reactive. The bottom line is it's very reactive. And it's the most reactive element, especially in the halogens. The halogens is group 7A on the periodic table. Now, if you look at the halogens, it starts with fluorine, then chlorine, then bromine, and then iodine. Okay,
gotcha. I'm with you.
Now, fluorine can kick out anything else below it. Okay. So if you have, in a single displacement chemical reaction, you have fluorine that's single by itself and iodine, it's going to kick out the iodine. And your thyroid...
I get that. Okay.
Iodine.
Gotta have thyroid. Gotta have iroid. Gotta have iroid.
What are you drinking over there?
Apparently fluorine in my water.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, so hypothyroidism can be a result of an iodine deficiency. And we're starting to see a lot of that. Iodine deficiencies. Could this...
Oh, yeah.
Could there be... I mean, this is simple high school chemistry. It's like, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. We were talking about this today in chemistry. So it could be from medications, surgery, radiation. But the most common in Western populations is a person's own immune system starts attacking their thyroid gland. Okay. And that's called autoimmune thyroiditis. Okay. Or
I wonder if that's
Hashimoto's.
what I had. I had
Well, another name is called Hashimoto.
My doctor never said that. He said I had hypothyroidism.
Okay. Well, you can determine that by a simple blood test. Okay.
Right.
Now, Dr. McDougall on his website says a change in diet will not correct hypothyroidism. But, and this article that I'm quoting from was written in 2005. So maybe he hadn't had anybody that had come forward and had a change because you changed yours and you got off your medication. How long were you on your medication?
I graduated high school in 1981. And I believe that as soon as I graduated high school, I put on 25 pounds and I went to the doctor and he said I had hypothyroidism. So I don't think I was out of high school 3 months. And,
you were on it that long. Oh my gosh.
School, no.
So, and I was on it for, I don't know, not that long, definitely not as long as you.
30 some years.
And my doctor looked at me straight in the eye and said, I've never seen you, because when she wrote the prescription out, I'm like, how, because she wrote 4 refills and I'm like, how long am I supposed to be taking this? And she's like,
yeah, they say there's no cure. Yeah.
Forever? I'm like, what?
Yep.
I'm like, no. I don't want to be taking a drug forever. She's like, no. And she looked at me straight in the eye and said, I've never seen anybody heal this.
Oh, yeah. And then they say it's better to take it at night and on an empty stomach. I never took it right. I took it in the morning and I ate breakfast. They say it's best to take it at night on an empty stomach. And I was lucky to get to bed. Okay.
Well,
God. It's it was I hated taking that medicine. I hate pills.
Well, so anyway, but you and I both have gotten off of it. We've healed
100%.
our thyroid.
I take no pills. No medication at all.
So I don't know if that has changed since 2005 or if he's changed his position on that or if other doctors are seeing people heal their thyroid. Both you and I did. So, but a couple of things I just want to talk about because our thyroid runs all metabolic system reactions in our body. I mean, everything.
Right.
So if you're having issues with your thyroid, this could have problems. So I just did a little bit of research and one of the things, well, there's a lot of things. I got quite a few things to talk about, but I'm not going to go crazy. But one of them was called triclosan. Triclosan is in a lot of personal care products. And triclosan was used primarily in the antibacterial soaps. And they just banned that because one of the things, research has shown that small amounts can be safe, quote, but there's evidence that triclosan is an endocrine disruptor and impacts your thyroid function. Okay, that's a problem. And I remember it because I was an elementary principal, and the teachers would line up because the kids had to go into the cafeteria, and they would line them up because to take like first, second, third graders into the bathroom and wash
treatment?
the hand soap.
The hand soap.
To take kids into the cafeteria, it takes, to get them into the bathroom and wash their hands and then get into the cafeteria to go have lunch. You're talking 30 minutes, So they would line them up with the hand sanitizers.
They didn't do that in the 60s and 70s.
No, but they would line them up and put the hand sanitizer in, and they were doing that several times a day. And I understand why they were trying to prevent the spread of flu and stuff like that in the classroom.
No, yeah, their intentions were well.
The intentions were well, but the kids were starting to get sick. Okay, anyway. Right. So triclosan was just banned by the government to be put in the hand sanitizers. Okay, fine. But it's still okay to use it in deodorant and toothpaste. Shut up. If you're going to ban it, if you're going to ban it in one thing, you ban it across the board. Okay, so that's one thing. So just make sure you're checking your labels on your personal care products. Make sure there's no triclosan in it because they still allow it in some personal care products. So PBDEs.
Go ahead. I was just going to go through the chemicals, and I was just going to share my experience with me.
Okay.
Howard.
So PBDEs, that's polybrominated diphenyl ethers. Okay, this is the flame retardant stuff. Okay, that's going to be found in a lot of foam pillows, foam stuffing in furnitures, sleepwear.
And I think that's a lot of requirements by the government now that baby sleepers and certain types of clothing. My husband works in a food processing plant that has this gigantic boiler that he's a certified boiler tender, and he has to wear a flame retardant uniform. It weighs a ton. You know, I know.
Well, this can cause these chemicals can cause liver damage and thyroid problems. Perchlorates is another group of chemicals that can cause issues with the thyroid. And this is perchlorates are byproducts of, like, say, manufacturing of rocket and jet fuel or airbags in the car and fireworks. So this stuff is linking into our atmosphere. It comes back down, goes into our drinking water and food supply. So the CDC did a study on the connection between the perchlorate levels and hormone levels. And they've had they showed that the perchlorate prevents the production of the thyroid hormone. So another one is dioxins. And this is another issue that on some of the chemicals that are on personal care products, like, they don't have to list on the personal care products. Like, if you have two chemicals that mix together, they can create a chemical reaction inside the personal care product, and they don't have to list the actual result of what is created. And one of those chemicals is dioxins. Dioxins are known to have disruptive effects on the endocrine system, and is a primary toxic component of Agent Orange. Okay.
Well, we all know how well that worked out for the veterans in Vietnam.
Yeah. So their current thyroid problems, a lot of the vets from Vietnam era, is due to Agent Orange. Pesticides is another one. That is another study warns that 60% of the pesticides used today may affect the thyroid gland's productions of hormones. And a lot of the antifungal and weed killers used on produce have been shown to decrease thyroid functions and increase weight loss resistance. BPA is another one. All right, this is what makes plastics hard. Okay, right. It's in food coatings inside the cans. It's in dental sealants. And it decreases the thyroid receptor site sensitivity, causing thyroid resistance. And the last one is called PFOA. This is the toxic chemical that's in
non-stick.
Teflon.
Non-stick.
Not all non-stick, just the Teflon. The Teflon. And it's in food wrappers, some things, and other products, and this can affect thyroid functions even at moderate levels of exposure. So this is just some of the things you need to be aware of, your environment and the toxins and the impact that it can. A lot of these things are bioaccumulative, which means that it's building up. And the government or, the industry says, just it's small amounts. It's not a big deal. But yet you're accumulating it again and again and again. And then we don't know what this one chemical is going to do with this chemical inside your body and the issues it's going to have. Okay, I'm done.
All right. That was amazing. I mean, it's just amazing. So for me, Howard, my journey down thyroid, having thyroid disease started when I was right out of high school. And here's the thing that makes my situation unique is I was a farmer's daughter. Like I said, I grew up in the middle of a walnut orchard and my dad was a commercial farmer. So he used all the pesticides, the bad pesticides back in the 60s and 70s, glutathione, parathion, paraquat, what's DDT. All of these things were sprayed with a commercial projectile aerofan sprayer around the house, in our swimming pool, the whole 9 yards. And so I was exposed to this high level of chemicals from the time I was in 5th grade till the time I moved out for all those years. And then on top of that, I started working in the veterinary industry and I was using latex gloves. And back then I was a surgical assistant and I would put on latex gloves, and latex gloves were non-disposable back then. We would sprinkle latex powder inside the gloves, give them a pat. The white powder I would breathe that in, and then we would put them in a paper autoclave ready thing and fold it up, put it in the sterilization chamber called an autoclave, and sterilize them, and we'd reuse them. And I was in the veterinary industry for almost 9 years. And so I was exposed to these high amounts of latex to the point where later in life, when I was in my 30s, I developed a severe latex allergy. If I have latex, like I found out I was allergic to latex when I put on a knee brace and my leg swelled up and instantly basically turned to this gigantic oozing, like flesh eating. My leg was just horrifically ugly. And my doctor said, oh, you're allergic to latex apparently because it's in black rubber. So, I mean, and then I had at about the same time, my thyroid decided to go south on me. And so flash forward to all these years later, eating the standard American diet, popping my thyroid pill and my allergy pills every day. I emailed Dr. McDougall because I was like, okay, I've lost a bunch of weight. I'm feeling good. Maybe I can get off these thyroid pills. And Dr. McDougall, and that's one of the things I love about Dr. McDougall is you can email him and he would email you back. You might not like what he emails you back because he's Dr. McDougall. And
he will tell you straight.
He will tell you straight up. And that's what I love about him. But he was so genuine in his McDougall form. And he basically said everything that says that he has on his website that you cannot cure thyroid disease, and that levothyroxine is a prescription medication that's been around for 50 years. He just basically said, Nancy, take your 75 micrograms of levothyroxine a day and call it good. You know, and I was disturbed by that. That was one of my goals, was to get off levothyroxine. I didn't like the fact that it comes from a pig's, you know, there's the sources can be from many things like a pig's thyroid and
or cow
chemical,
or sheep.
Cow or sheep, you know, and that just disturbed me. I didn't want that inside of me. And what about all the biological things that are inside that sheep or cow? I mean, now they're saying that H1N1, the bird flu, you know, these are things that I don't want in my medication. So long story short is when I put the 2 and 2 together and decided to really step up my game and do another course correction in my journey and go organic with all of my produce. And then the next course correction in my journey was starting to really isolate and look at chemicals in my cleaning products, and then course correction and look at all of the chemicals in my personal makeup choices. And then all of a sudden, my thyroid numbers are perfectly fine. And I haven't taken a thyroid pill in a couple years. Maybe it's, you know, I know it was before my mom died, and my mom died on March 10th, 2017. And I would think that at least 6 or 7 months before that, so probably right about now 2 years. And I've been plant-based for a little over 6 years. So, and I know I've been really adamant about being organic and really removing the toxins. And my gynecologist, she's like, this is fantastic. And so how can we know, like Dr. McDougall says, the thyroid damage can't be repaired, but I repaired my fatty liver syndrome. I lowered my cholesterol. I cleared up my polycystic ovarian syndrome. My fibrocystic breast tissue is completely normal. How come my thyroid can't be reversed? Well, something in there is functioning because my latest blood sample came in normal, and I'm having blood work again this coming Friday, and they're doing all of the, she ordered all of the thyroid screening. So by next Tuesday, I should have my blood sample results, and I can let you know what my thyroid comes in at. But I always recommend organic when you can. If you can't do the organic, at least adhere to the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. Do your best you can and really start looking at those personal care products and those home cleaning supplies. Like Jean said, those chemicals are nasty. And if we know that they affect our thyroid and our endocrine system, we shouldn't be using them. That's to me is a no-brainer. So there you have it. Do we have any more questions, Jean?
Nope, because we're out of time. So.
We are. Brianna, good job. Congratulations on eating organic and non-GMO. That's huge. I want to do a shout out to my friend Nola. Nola, hi, welcome back. Are you still in Boston or are you home? Nola's daughter, Lisa, ran the Boston Marathon yesterday in freezing cold, wind-driven rain, and had a personal record. And a woman won the Boston Marathon the first time in 33 years or 35 years, one or the other. So kudos to her. And that's just that inspires me so much. It's just, I love to run.
I'm not running unless somebody's chasing me. Run.
All right. Yeah. So thank you all for joining us today on the Starch Queens Q&A, Talking Tuesday. And please continue to share this. It will be recorded. Jean, do you have any closing comments for today before we wrap it up?
No, but we do have, we're coming up to the end of the month, and if anybody wants to join the Starch Queens, you can join anytime. So we hope you join us, because it's not just weight loss, it's an education program. It's a lifestyle.
It's an education program. So. It is a managed educational program that it's phenomenal. Yep. Real quick, I'm scheduled for my first colonoscopy coming this Monday. I thought it was last Monday, like yesterday, but I messed up the date. I got lots going on. So a week from today, I will give you a full account. Oh, I hope I have pictures too. And I can share it.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. I mean,
all right.
So again, I think one of the things we're going to be talking about next week is colonoscopies, because it's going to be right there. We'll let you know how that goes. I didn't want to have it done, but I'm going to have it done. I found out. So my doctor's a woman that's doing it, and I researched the research and researched her, and I feel okay with having it done. So we'll talk about that. Again, thank you for joining. Share this to your Facebook page, your Facebook group, the Starch Queens .net. A wonderful resource with educational material, cooking videos, our plant-based towns. All of our network of plant-based towns is there. Please join one of our towns. We have 10-day free weight loss challenges that provide support.
And we got a new plant-based town, plant-based Lake Charles, Louisiana. So welcome. Yeah,
welcome. And another one of our plant-based towns is going to be joining. Christy's going to be starting with
Plant-based Providence.
Plant-based Providence is going to be
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island, joining our network and free 10-day weight loss challenges. So again, sqweightloss.com. Our website is starchqueens.net. And just go in there and browse around. There's a lot of great educational material in there. And a big shout out to our plant-based town group leaders. We love all that you do and appreciate everything that you do. And thank you for joining us. Jean, be sure and save this. High five. Everybody have a wonderful Tuesday and a wonderful week. And you can always post questions on our Starch Queens page, Facebook page. Thank you for joining us. We always have fun.
Night, John.
Night.